Gets the back air though.
For free. Oh, great pass.
Oh!
Beneath all of our noses, a brand new cut of top echelon players have been rising to the top of Smash Ultimate. These players have snuck their way in from being players who would be considered as just right outside the brink of being at that upper echelon to now being greater than many of those who we would always consider to be top level threats.
Right now, one check damage gets the down air on top of it, getting the spike for your troubles.
In this video, I'm going to go over a couple of the players that I think have kind of sneakily made it into this top level and where I think they'll go from here.
Subscribe quick if you want to save Smash. Otherwise, oh no, they're coming.
So Wrath has always been quite a prominent threat within Smash Ultimate. This isn't like a player who's come completely out of the blue. However, when people thought of Wrath, they often thought of a local Georgian threat and somebody who you would see at those locals doing well. But the run that Wrath has been on throughout the past year has been something out of a movie. It's always hard to pinpoint an exact origin for when these rises began. However, if I had to pick one, I'd say Kagaribi. At the biggest tournament of all time, Wrath got top 8 winners side. This is an insane performance for a player who was ranked outside of the top 50 before this, and even after this was only placed at the number 40 spot on the rankings, which was mind-blowing to a lot of people because, again, he got top 8 winners side at Kagaribi, the biggest tournament that has ever happened. And this is a clear sign of just a player who was not really on many people's radars, just kind of sneaking his way into that top 8. There would be a ton of naysayers around this, saying, you know, he didn't really beat super strong opponents, or his bracket was sort of built a certain way to make sure that he'd be successful. No matter what people thought, it didn't really matter. He beat the people in his path, but it still wasn't enough, you know? He didn't want to be a player that was just going to sneak by. So he proved the naysayers wrong when he had an insane performance at Riptide. At this event, he would go on to have a Game 5 set and win over players like Mudace, and even beat people who were kind of bracket demons to him at certain points like Light. But probably his most important win at this event, and the most impressive to shut up all the naysayers, was his 3-0 victory over Akola, the greatest Steve on the planet. He beat 3-0. If that doesn't make him rank any higher, I don't know what will. At this event, he was only defeated by Zamba, the rank 8 in the world, and Doramiki, the rank number 1 in the world. So this should just go to show you that he had an insane performance at this event. I mean, he got 5th place, and I believe that's the same performance that he actually got at Kagaribi, another 5th place. Wrath has recently been on a tear. Even at tournaments like the VAR Summit, Wrath would go on to defeat players like Osimo. He would go on to beat Lammers, who got top 8 at Port Priority, and he even beat Peabnut and Louis Money, who I will talk about each of them later. But that's just insane that this guy really still isn't even on the radar for a lot of people. Wrath is a player who has kind of risen to that very, very top level and could be considered one of the best players in the United States right now.
Genuinely, you are one hit away, and that one hit could be several moves from Mega Man. Oh! I didn't think it was going to be all that!
Oh, Jesus, Jermaine, LaFont, LaBelle Christ, my God!
Peabnut has become something that I don't even really know how to describe.
Oh my God!
I think it's almost hard to contest that Peabnut has to be the #1 player in the United States right now. I don't know who we could even put above him. I mean, I love that players like Tweak are back to competition and really thriving, and I do expect to see great performances from people like him and Light at Genesis, but the run that Peabnut has been on is almost unprecedented. I think the writing was kind of on the wall. At the Japanese events he attended, like Kagurabi 13, he got 17th place, which may not sound crazy, but he did outplace his seed, and he outplaced players like Spargo, who was the rank 1 player in the world and the first seed at that event. He would then go on to outplace his seed once again at Kulon, getting a 9th place. And this just shows like he was consistently doing better than people really expected for him to, and it would only continue and kind of get even crazier and crazier. You could tell that his results were climbing, as not only would he continue to outplace his seed at every event he would go to, but he got a 5th at MomoCon, a 2nd at Comic Palooza, and then he won Patchwork. So he was just showing like he's continuing to improve at a rate that people aren't even really able to track. Even the average viewer could tell that a lot of this was beginning to bubble over at Supernova, where he would go on to beat an insane cast of players, including Ken 3-0, who has always been an elite threat, a random Steve player that was in the top 10 at this time, and Spargo in a Game 5 set, which was really like the icing on top. He would only go on to be defeated by Mia, who we all know Mia, and Spargo once again in the run back at this event. But if those are your only losses, 2 players in the top 5, you're doing something right. He also became what I believe is the first Mega Man in the history of North America to win a major at Let's Make Moves Miami, which, I mean, I'm still thinking about that to this day because I just cannot believe it that he was able to do that with Mega Man, and I should believe it because it's seeming like he's gonna do it again. At Afterburner, this was at the point where people really began not being able to ignore what Peabnut was doing any longer. Throughout that entire tournament, which was an open bracket event, Peabnut lost 7 games. Not sets. He lost 2 sets, 7 games, which means every single set except for 3 that he played, he 3-0'd his opponent. He didn't lose a single game, including a set against Mia, the rank 2 player in the world, and maybe the worst matchup for Mega Man? How is that possible? I don't know. But this guy did it. He got 3rd place at that event, only losing to Louis Money and Carmelo. And I mean, it was an insane performance. Let's Make Big Moves. It felt like Peabnut was almost there to like embarrass people. He was just not losing games. And this wasn't to like random people. This was to like Candle, Osimo, MK Leo. Remember that guy? Remember MK Leo? Not losing games to him. I mean, it was honestly embarrassing, and that's my goat. It was embarrassing to watch. Like, it was just like, what can somebody even do here? I don't know. I mean, beating Spargo at that event, there was just nobody who could beat him, it looks like. Like, it was horrific to watch, you know? Sonics. Remember Sonics? He just won Port Priority. He won the VARS Invitational? No? Okay. Beat that guy. Yeah, it was some of the most brutal Smash I'd ever seen. The only person that beat him at the event was Hurt, and Hurt won the event. You know, Peabnut got 2nd place. So it's looking like there's nobody in the United States above Peabnut, and if the season were to end today, Peabnut is like maybe rank 1. You know what I mean? Rank 1 or rank 2. That's just so crazy.
You're a very stoic individual, okay? But when you beat him, you popped off a little bit. Was there a little extra something there?
I was just feeling myself. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
I mean, he's definitely rank 1 in, you know, America right now. He has to be. Who else could be above him? And yet people aren't really talking about it like that. So there's just this whole new barrage of players that are just slowly creeping into the top level. And I feel like just out of nowhere, it's going to be swept up like the rug from underneath everyone. And they're just going to wake up to a whole new cast of top players.
Back throws the gear back at him.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was it. We're gonna go for back here. Down to the push-off stage again.
Has Louis Money been sandbagging this whole time? What the heck? What the heck?
Louis Money exemplifies what I'm describing in this video perfectly. Like the perfect example of this, because Louis Money has always been right around that top level, but like kind of right outside. You know, he's always been like, you cannot beat him if you're below, but if you're above, you know, he's not probably going to beat you. But at port priority, some switch flipped in his head. Something about the rainy Seattle weather changed this man permanently, because Louis Money did not drop a game at port priority until he was in winner side top 16. He didn't drop a game. And again, he wasn't playing random losers. This was over people like Syrup. Remember Syrup, the first seed at that tournament? He's in the top 10, remember? He's like rank 7 in the world. Didn't drop a game to him. This was to people like Raflo, the only Palutena ranked above Louis Money. He didn't drop a game to him though. Louis Money has become some sort of beast. I mean, even at this event, his losses were to Toriguri, which is kind of crazy. You lost to Banjo-Kazooie, but you know, Toriguri is cracked. And that was game 5 and he got shield broken. We all saw it. He beats Mild Naho and he only loses to Light. This was a 5th place performance, which was way better than a lot of people had predicted for Louis Money, and he kind of just took that and ran with it. At Afterburner, Louis Money would make a pretty big win over Cola, who was a player who had defeated him at main stage in the past, and yet he was not able to defeat Mia, who sent him into the losers bracket. This is probably what you'd think I would say. However, once they rematched in the losers bracket, it went a little bit differently. He 3-0'd Apollo Kage, 3-0'd Zamba, and beat Mia 3-1. And beat Peabnut in a game 5. Peabnut, by the way, not only the person who sent Mia down here to losers, but also the person who did all the stuff I just said. I mean, an insane player. He then beat Carmelo in a game 5 set and only lost in the reset. So Louis Money was something incredible at this event. If a 2nd place at Afterburner and a win over Mia wasn't enough, he would go on to get another 2nd place at the VAR Summit and 2 wins over Zamba, which remember, he just beat Zamba at Afterburner. He beat him twice at this tournament, and 2 more wins over Hurt, who is another top 5 player in the world. So now he's beaten Hurt twice, Zamba twice, and Mia once this year. We're still in January. He just recently outplaced his seeding again at Let's Make Big Moves, getting a 7th place and only losing to MK Leo and Spargo, Mexico's 2 greatest players. So Louis Money has become that top player. Like, everything that people had always said was really what used to stop him in the past, he is that now. And again, as I said with Peabnut, he has one of the greatest players in America at this point. It's just undeniable. There's nothing you could say about it other than that. And I know that he was just ranked number 50, but I can already tell you that in 2026, he's going to be a little bit higher than that. And we still have yet to see really what he's going to do.
Stock here for Carmelo, but we've seen it before. So many great games from Carmelo. And been decided in the final moment. Oh my God! Carmelo from the rope takes game 1.
Carmelo is already a top 10 player, so this might seem weird to put him in this video, and yet I think people don't even realize what is about to happen with this player. To start things off, he got a 3rd place at Sumabato 15th anniversary, which is a huge placement. But he kind of just kept this going. Again, this guy somewhat came out of nowhere, at least to a lot of North American viewers. And, you know, he's shown that he's top 10 at the worst, really. He won Sumabato 57, which was an S tier event, and he got a 7th place at Kagaribi 13, the biggest tournament of all time. He got wins over Shuton, Sonics, Reno, Shin, and many others. He was only defeated by Riddles and Mia, who are both cracked players. He also went on to get a 2nd place at Sumabato 63 and a 9th place at the most recent Kagaribi 14. So he's been super consistent as well. He then would go on to venture overseas to Port Priority, and he got many top player wins, including wins over Shattuck, including wins over Tori Guri, including wins over Siski, right? The only people who defeated him at this event were Zomba and the winner of the event, Sonics. At Afterburner, do I really even have to talk about it, man? He lost 5 games at the tournament, bro. He lost 5 games. He lost the 3 games in the reset against Louis Money, or before the reset to reset the grand finals. And then he also lost 2 games a little bit earlier to Zomba. But like, that's just it. That's it. You know, everybody else he 3-0'd, including even in the reset against Louis Money. He 3-0'd him. He got 1st place at the event. I mean, in 2026, I promise you guys, this will become the rank #1 Steve in the world. And I know that people might be thinking, he's already top 10, how much more well-known can he get? But like, if you look, a lot of people don't even really know who this guy is, you know? I even saw him kind of post about this on Twitter. He was saying that, you know, I'm top 10 and nobody knows who I am.
Is where it gets started. The limit still on the table. Big throw to keep it up. I am so worried for Spargo right now. 80, 105. The up air almost does it. The smash art.
Oh my God, he pulls it out. Now Spargo definitely gonna force his Steed's advantage. He's gonna off that smash art immediately.
The forward
Does he find it? Yes, he does. And Elijah Man taking it over Spargo.
Now, when I pulled up to Port Priority number 9, I was promptly greeted and asked if I was MohammedSSB, which obviously I am, by a player known as Elijah Man.
Yeah, I gotta play now.
Good luck,
Are you on live on Twitch right now?
Yeah.
You wanna say hi? Alright.
Listen, y'all gotta subscribe to MohammedSSB on YouTube. You gotta sub to him on Twitch. You gotta show him all the love, because this guy's putting in mad work and he's gonna be big one day. So listen, y'all are the day ones, and when he makes it big, he's gonna remember y'all. So y'all gotta make sure to subscribe, to like, and to show your support now, because when he's big, bro, when he's big, you better not you better not be coming back saying you're a day one and you got no comments or subs.
Around, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And little did I know at the time the impact that this player was going to have. But I was really rooting for him because of the positive interaction that we had at the event. I had heard of him before, but I really didn't know a ton about him. But it was a good tournament to begin rooting for him, because he blew expectations out of the water. As the 35th seed, he would end up getting 17th place at the event, and he really performed amazingly. His only losses at the event were to Zomba and Shiny Mark, and he would even go on to beat players like Mark, the Japanese Yoshi player, who is super duper good at the game. So this was showing a lot of promise, and he would kind of only go on to be better. I even really thought after watching his performance, I was like, this is a very underrated player that people really aren't looking out for enough. This kind of is all leading up to the big moment just this weekend at Let's Make Big Moves, where he would go on to not only outplace his seed, but beat a great player. So at Let's Make Big Moves, Elijah Man would go on to get a 17th place, not even losing a game until winner side top 128, where he'd lose one game to Just Blue Steve. But then after that, he had to play maybe the insurmountable task of Spargo. The former rank 1 in the world, current rank 5 in the world. I mean, what other accolades can you give to this guy? However, I actually predicted when looking at the seed that Elijahman would win this. Nobody will believe me, but I swear on my mom's soul, I even told my friend, you can ask him. I told him while we were looking at the seeding, he was like, what do you think Spargo's gonna get his first tournament back? I said, I don't think he's gonna be super warm. I think it's gonna be, he's a bit nervous. He's coming from the VAR Summit. He was playing Piranha Plant, and he didn't do so great. I think Elijahman is gonna beat him. I said that, and then he beat him, bro. He beat him. It was a magical thing, and a lot of people didn't even know who this was, and now I get to feel like I'm the guy who's like, yeah, you guys wouldn't know, right? But I know. And this is a player that you guys are gonna have to look out for. He just is kind of in your face now at this point. Once he's beating Spargo, you can't ignore it any longer. Also, even while I'm editing this video right now, there is Mayasuma top 2 going on. And just to further my point, players like Neono Kombu doing it big with Diddy Kong. Players like Tsubaki beating Hurt with Joker. And now one of them, I mean the tournament's literally going on right now while I'm recording the video, but one of them is going to get a flight out to level up Expo. Like, there are players just sneaking right under your nose to this top level of Smash, and you're not even aware of it. So those are some players that I think people will need to look out for 2026. I think all of these players are kind of becoming top level threats before our very eyes, and our favorite players are going to have to encounter them, and whether they beat them or not is really up in the air. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you guys really notice any of this happening behind the scenes, or are you guys kind of oblivious to it? I know some people obviously probably predicted this, but a lot of people may have been caught off guard. A lot of this caught me off guard, so I wouldn't blame you. But please be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe, and see ya.
Well, Cola, I think all this talk of rising talent has made me a little hungry. Want to go grab something to eat?
I'm gonna go eat some lettuce.
All right, well, there we go, I guess.